So I'm a barrister in London. I practice in criminal law, I practice in international law, I practice in human rights law. I also run an organization called Justice Abroad, which helps mostly British people who get in trouble overseas with foreign legal systems, but also carries out human rights work. So we have clients all around the world. We represent a number of Uyghur families who live in Europe who've had family members disappeared in China as well. So that's another thing I do. I run Lawyers for Uyghur Rights, a lawyers organization as well. So this kind of case is exactly the type of work that I'm interested in, helping other lawyers, we hope, and really standing up for the most terrible human rights abuses. The UK's version of the Magnitsky law, which seems to be coming into place all around the world, which is fantastic, is the Global Human Rights Sanctions Regulations of this year. So it's a very recent piece of legislation in regards to sanctioning those who are involved in the worst type of human rights abuses. And what the Global Human Rights Sanctions focus on is individuals who carry out the following activities on behalf of a state, those which amount to a serious violation of the right to life, the right not to be subject to torture or cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment, and the right to be free from slavery. So that's the real focus of the regulations. And they prevent those individuals from traveling into the United Kingdom, and also it goes to seizing their assets, any assets they hold in the jurisdiction. When Arrested Lawyers came to me and Kevin Dent, Queen's Counsel, who's leading me in this project, we were very excited about it because it's a fantastic organization to start with. I've been following their work for a while. If you go to their website, they really do document what's going on in Turkey, and they have very good connections with different bar associations across Europe and around the world. And they came to us and said, is this something that you might be able to help with? And we looked at it and said, yeah, this is something which does have very good prospects because of the widespread scale of the abuses in Turkey. So we were very excited when they came to us with this project. And what we'll be doing in the project is considering evidence against individuals on different levels. So it might be local government level, where there's sanctioning of torture, or it could be prosecutors in Turkey. As we know, they have an immense amount of power to decide who goes to prison and for how long, even when there's no evidence of any crimes being committed. And we've heard of cases where people have been sent to prison for years and years, and when they go to leave the prison, they're sent back into prison again, just on the whim of the prosecutor. So we'll be looking at prosecutors on that level as well. We'll be looking at a wide range of different positions. But there's the good thing about this project, the good thing about dealing, we're focusing on crimes against lawyers, but we're not stopping there. We're looking at crimes against journalists and against civil society activists as well. The good thing about lawyers is that they speak up about what happens to them. So there's lots of transcripts you can get from the Turkish courts. The next few weeks, we'll be considering the evidence that has been collected by Arrested Lawyers in regards to individuals who've been involved in mass human rights violations in Turkey. And we'll be putting together, starting to put together the submissions which we will send to the foreign minister, foreign secretary in the United Kingdom, because he's the one who makes a decision under the sanctions regulations. So we'll be putting together that information. And as I said, there is very good evidence that I've seen already, but we'll be putting that into a form which makes it easy to understand. So we have the best chance of those sanctions being granted against those individuals. And once we've made the submissions in regards to sanctioning individuals, there's a lot of other work we can look at as well. There's obviously sanctioning in different parts of the world, so not just the United Kingdom. You mentioned the European Union as well, which is starting to use sanctions more effectively now as well. We think if we collect proper evidence, make proper submissions in regards to individuals who are responsible, we think we've got a good chance of getting at least some of them added to that sanctions list. in international politics, as you know, relationships between countries change so rapidly. And I remember 10 years ago, I was working on cases involving Russia and the United Kingdom, and the British government didn't want to do anything to upset Russia because there was a very close relationship at that time. And now there's the sanction list is full of Russian names. So I don't think it will be much that the UK's government's position on Turkey will be much of an impediment. And as you know, the politics in regards to Turkey and its relationship with other countries in Europe are changing very, very quickly. So I'm not too worried about that. We think if we put the evidence before the Foreign Secretary, at least some of the names on our list will be added to the sanction regime. You're right there. It's a kind of cross-political legal process in regards to what we're doing. And the political pressure and raising awareness of what's going on is very important. We've reached out already to the inter-party parliamentary group on Turkey, and we hope to run some events with them to speak about what's happening. But Turkish people in the United Kingdom can raise it with their local MPs and councillors as well. That's very important, because the more political support we have from all parties, the better that is. So Turkish community leaders in the United Kingdom and individuals should use the opportunity they can hold events, they can speak to their MP, they can write to the newspaper, they can keep on raising the issue. Oh yes, absolutely.
Because in a way they are the subject of the story as well, like partly.
No, they are the best evidence about what's happening. So if they want to get in touch with us and provide evidence about what's happened to them, we will definitely consider that. But if they work within their local, with the Turkish communities in the United Kingdom, that's also very, very helpful. And it's important that members of parliament, especially those who, with constituencies with a large Turkish diaspora, understand that the Turkish people who've escaped and who've come to the United Kingdom for those reasons don't support what's happening there and want a stronger stand and a stronger voice about what's going on. That's very important. Whichever political party they're from, that they understand that their Turkish constituents, who will be, some of whom will be voting for them, don't agree with what's happening in Turkey and want them to speak up about it. The way that the Turkish community around the world responded to the campaign was very inspiring. There were people donating, some people large amounts, some people small amounts, but there were so many people getting involved and sending messages of support. And to know that people who may not be in a very fantastic position in regard financially, if they've escaped from Turkey, were willing to contribute and to give us support was very heartening. And it shows, I think, how strongly people feel about this, about what's happening to them. And these are people who've come from great jobs back in Turkey and are unable to work in those areas. So they feel very strongly about that. So it was heartening to receive all the messages. Lots of messages have come through, and we really thank them for their support. And hopefully we can work towards combating this impunity of all these individuals in Turkey who think they can get away with causing so much damage to their fellow countrymen. So we will continue to fight for that, and we thank everyone for their support.